This presentation of the Necchi Model 4575 refers to the manual. Please stop the video at this point and get your manual out. Okay, the first items we're going to discuss are found at pages 4 and 5 of the instruction manual, and this is going to be to identify the knobs and dials on the machine. Main parts, names and functions. Item number 1 is the pattern selector dial. Second item is the stitch length dial, that is to say how long is the stitch going to be. Item 3, reverse feed button. When you want to go backwards, you press the button in and hold it. Let go, you're running forward again. Item number 4 is the zigzag dial. How wide do you want to run a pattern? Number 5, tension dial. More on this later. Number 6 is the two-step presser bar lifter. That is to say, you lift up the presser foot to put your fabric under it. There are occasions when you might have a thicker fabric, and if you push more on the lever, the foot lifts a little bit higher. Number 7, drop feed control. This is behind the shuttle cover. I'm going to drop the door. There's the lever. Teeth are up, press the lever, teeth are now down. Useful for quilting and darning operations. Press the bottom of this lever and the teeth are back up. Item number 8, bobbin winder and thread cutter. Lift up the door, here's the bobbin winder, which is a shaft. Here's the cutter and the on-off switch. Maintaining the machine, pages 40 and 41. We're going to clean the shuttle and the hook area. Open up the door, take out the bobbin case, and the bobbin case is removed by holding it by the latch. We unlock the shuttle race holder by flipping these two latches to the side. I'm going to take out the hook and the race cover by grabbing the shaft. Out they come. The maintenance involves cleaning out this track, which is the race, cleaning out the inside of the race cover, checking the hook, again with the brush, and then putting a drop of oil on the track. To reassemble, I'm going to put the hook back in. It lines up against this driver. The race cover has a dimple in the bottom that matches this slot down below. And then I close the latches back. Reinsert the bobbin case, holding it by that latch. You've just cleaned the race and shuttle. Winding the bobbin, page 12. The way we wind a bobbin on the 4575 is as follows. We'll put a spool of thread on, hold on to it, and take it through this first guide up on the front end of the machine. Bring it back down through this guide on the rear and under the spring load. Insert the thread through one of the holes in the bobbin. I'm going to lift up the shield, put the bobbin on the shaft, and now the machine is automatically disengaged. We can start winding the bobbin. After a few turns, I'll just break this thread and proceed. Now, if you're going to wind a full bobbin, you could just keep on running because the cutter up above will cut the thread at the appropriate time. However, we're not going to go with a full spool at this point. Take the bobbin off the shaft. I'm just going to turn the machine around here just so you can see that when I step on the pedal, it's running again. Threading the machine. Page 14. We have a spool of thread. I'm going to insert it on top of the spool holder. Taking the thread down toward the head of the machine, I'm going to go under this guide on the rear, around and under the spring clip, bringing the thread forward through the tension knob, the upper check spring. Now, I'm going to put the foot down because at this point in time, you need to make sure you have some drag in the tension disc. Foot up, no drag. Foot down, you have drag. From here, we go up to the take-up lever on the left-hand side and pull it down through the take-up lever. Thread now goes through this one guide, two guides, and then we thread the needle from front to back. Page 16, how to raise the bobbin thread and also inserting the bobbin case. You'll notice the bobbin case has a handle on it, little latch. That's the way we remove and insert the bobbin case, because in this position it's holding the bobbin in. It will not fall out. Just put it in. There's a little notch in the race cover that the arm of the bobbin case fits in. Raising the bobbin thread consists of turning the hand wheel towards you while you hold on to the upper thread. Up comes the bobbin thread. We'll draw it out and move it to the rear. How to adjust thread tensions. This is discussed on page 18 of the manual. You'll notice figure 1 is an illustration of how to adjust the upper tension dial. Figure 2 deals with adjusting the bobbin case tension. In addition to the information on page 18, I'd like to show you a way to double check your tension with a piece of test fabric. What I've got here now is this zigzag width at full and the stitch length at full. I'm just going to run a line of stitching. Turn this around so we can take a good look at what we've got. And we have a normal zigzag on the top. Let's look at the bottom. The bottom situation is simply not the same. We've got not a good zigzag. The reason being, these loops or threads coming down from above are from the upper tension, which needs to be tightened up. We come to the upper tension dial and we increase the amount of tension. It was down near 0. I'm going to put it up towards 3, 3.5, 4. Run another test line. Once again, the zigzag looks normal on top. Let's see what we have on the bottom. Now we have near a perfect zigzag on the bottom. The tensions are set, the threads are balanced. Normally, once the threads are set or tensions are balanced for one fabric, the machine is set and balanced on all. So there's not typically a lot of tension knob adjustment. Pages 20 through 37 discuss beginning to sew right on through most all of the functions of the machine. What I'm going to do right now is concentrate on the basic relationship between the three main dials: the pattern selector, the zigzag control, and the stitch length. First thing you need to do is determine what pattern you want to run, and that will be determined by selecting the appropriate stitch. Second item would be, how wide do you want the pattern to come in, or do you want a straight stitch? Because a 0 on the zigzag dial will bring you a straight stitch. Anything else will give you some varying width of zigzag. Down below, we're looking at the stitch length dial. Likewise, the higher the number, the longer the stitch. This is a color-coordinated setup, so you'll find that when you line up your yellows, for example, together, or your blues, that you're going to be on target with what you're looking for. Buttonholes are discussed on page 28 of the manual. There are some diagrams setting suggestions. I'm going to now do one on the machine so you can see exactly how this operates. Remember my comment earlier about color coding. The buttonhole is an A, B, C, D process. It's a green stitch. With that thought in mind, we set our zigzag control to the green marker. Likewise, down below at straight stitching, there is a zone here for the green buttonhole stitch length. I'm now going to install the sliding buttonhole foot. It's a snap-on foot, and what I'm going to do is lift up the presser foot, press behind, drop off the all-purpose foot, and put on the buttonhole foot. Just let it snap down. We can pre-measure, so we have a sized buttonhole to make. Put down the foot and begin at A. It's making the left side of the buttonhole. We get down to the bottom of the markers. We'll turn it to B for the bottom bar tack. C commences up the right-hand side. And D is the upper final bar tack. I'll remove it and cut it on the post behind here. Snip away for neatness. There's the buttonhole. Now the stitch length dial over here can be bumped up a bit or tightened up a bit depending on how you want your buttonhole to look. But that's pretty much how it goes. Blind hemming, discussed on page 25 of the manual. To operate the blind hem, we have to take a look here at our stitch selection, which is number 4. That is the blind hem stitch. We've got 4 in the blue. The zigzag width is going to be anywhere from 3 to 5. I've got it set at 4 for this operation. Stitch length anywhere from 1 through 2 to 3 even. I'm going to set it right at 2. Now, I already have the blind hem foot installed here. That's number 9. It's got number 9 stamped on it, so you know which foot that is. The main thing now is to show you how the fold is done. Here's the outside of the fabric, the right side. I'm going to turn it around this way so you can observe how I do this fold. Up we come, and back. There'll be a little lip on the back side. And I'm just going to put it inside the foot here. Okay, take it up, cut it away, and here's the back side and the front side. Freehand machine embroidery, freehand sewing, dealt with on page 37 of the manual. This operation calls for the dropping of the feed dogs because the operator provides the motion, not the machine at this point. Press this lever in, make sure the feed dogs are down. The settings on the machine are such. Number 1, straight or zigzag. I've got the full zigzag on here. Stitch length is not a factor because, again, the machine is not going to be doing the feeding, the operator is. We'll be using this special embroidery foot provided in your accessory kit. Unlike the other feet, it is not a snap-on. We will have to remove the full presser foot by unscrewing and taking it away. I'm going to install this embroidery foot by screwing it on. Putting the fabric under it. Zigzag, and we provide the motion ourselves now. A little practice and you'll be doing just fine with that little bit of practice. There are a number of accessories you might purchase for your machine, one of which is the side cutter or serger attachments. We're going to demonstrate its use right now. Installation is as follows. First, we remove the main presser foot by unscrewing the knob. Take it away and remove it. Next, we're going to be observing the upper fork. That's going to go around the clamp, the needle clamp, and the lower clamp will go under the screw. Tighten up the screw. And it's attached. Next, let's take a look at the stitch selection for using this cutter. I've got number 8 selected, which is the overlock serge. Number 8 over here, the red stitch. I'm going to work with a full zigzag. And down here, I'm going to have a stitch length maximum at the red mark to match up with the red stitch selected. Okay, putting the fabric to the machine. I've got a little slice made in this fabric, and I'm going to show you why. The needle is actually about 3/4 of an inch behind the blade, so we need to accommodate that by having that slice. The fabric will be installed over the front of the foot and under the secondary portion. Over the front and under the secondary. I'll drop the foot down, and I'm going to hold on to these 2 threads here, just for the first couple of stitches. Excess trim cut away. Stretch stitch installed with an overlock. And there's the business side. The objective of this video presentation has been to familiarize you with both the manual and the machine, because when they are used together, they can provide you with many years of satisfactory performance. On the other hand, feel free to contact the dealer you purchased the machine from for any other questions you may have. And let me say this, thank you for buying a Necchi product.
Dun, 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 dun.